What's up, Heat Nation? Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. It's Friday, guys. One of the best days of the week. Time to enjoy the weekend. Hope you guys have some great stuff planned this weekend and you're healthy and blessed. God bless you all. Before we get started, you guys, please take a moment, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button as well. I want to thank all y'all for staying with me through this process. I know this Heat season's been frustrating as hell, so I hope tonight, the game against Washington, the Heat can turn this around. Now, I know tonight is the first game of that in-season game tournament. I don't give a shit about that tournament, honestly, you guys. That tournament means nothing. You know, if we win it, cool. That just means you have to play an extra game during the season. And as we're seeing, this Heat team is not great during the season so far. So I think right now the point is to just win this game. It sucks to say it, but right now, every game in the season for the Heat is a must-win. You're 1-4. You are last place in the Eastern Conference. But if we know anything about the NBA and this Miami Heat team, it's kind of like pro wrestling, which I do. It's a great storyline. Let's say the Heat actually make it again to the NBA Finals and even win it. I know a lot of you are laughing right now, but hey, you never know. People doubted us last year. But one of the great things about the NBA is that they backtrack during the season. And if you backtrack that this Heat team was 1-4, last place in the Eastern Conference, and then makes it to the NBA Finals, I mean, it just puts this Miami Heat culture over even more. Now, by saying that, I don't think that we're going to be doing that bad this season. I know how this team is. They're not a beginning of the season type of team. 2 years ago, we started 6-1 the year we first got Kyle Lowry, and that was exciting. Last 2 years haven't really gone that way. But there's going to be some point in the season where the Heat turn it around. It's not like they're far off in the playoff standings right now. They're literally only like 2 games down from the 8th seed. So it's really nothing to panic about right now. But there's a few things that I want to talk about with you Heat fans, a few different topics where I think that some decisions that the Heat are making may be hampering them. Now, first and foremost, I want to talk to you guys about James Harden. As we know, James Harden was recently traded to the Clippers. There were rumors and inclinations, little rumblings, that the Miami Heat may go after James Harden, especially after the poor performance from Kyle Lowry. Now, I told y'all that I don't think the Miami Heat can get an offer for Kyle Lowry unless they're trading for a player that just wants to get the hell out of the situation they're at. Kyle Lowry has a sweetie of a deal, of a $29 million contract that's expiring this season. So if you're a team that trades for that, you have a lot of options. You can let the contract ride out. You can buy him out or trade him even to another team. You got options. But an expiring contract is great for a team when they're looking to rebuild or free up the books for a free agent. But it turns out that it was reported that the Miami Heat never had interest in trading for James Harden. This was reported by Michael Scotto. He's a big-time reporter for the website Hoops Hype. Hoops Hype is a big-time NBA website. It takes all of the articles from NBA reporters on this specific website. So it's a legit company, website, whatever you want to call it. So I do believe this has some traction because there was never really any reports that the Miami Heat made an offer. Now, could the Miami Heat have made a better offer than the Clippers? Probably not, because you would probably have to include a Caleb Martin or a Tyler Hero. And I don't think you want to do that for James Harden, you know, especially not Tyler Hero. So I get if you had to do that, you wouldn't do it. But the fact that there wasn't even an offer made bums you out a little bit, because that's telling you that the Heat they're doing one of two things. One, they're just rolling with what they got right now and seeing what happens. Or two, they're just waiting and seeing if a whale becomes available. Now, I made a video a few days ago about the Miami Heat possibly trading for Joel Embiid. Since that video, Sixers have actually done pretty good. They're 3-1 right now. They're second seed in the East. And there's rumors about Philadelphia going after Zach LaVine or OG Anunoby. So depending on how they do, it looks like Joel Embiid may be staying put. But it's only 4 games in. You don't know what's going to happen throughout the season. So if the Sixers don't trade for Zach LaVine and OG Anunoby, if the Sixers start losing games, then we may have to revisit this possible Miami Heat trade for Joel Embiid. You even heard Bam Adebayo comment after this loss against Brooklyn that he's got a great group of guys with him. But if this continues to go the way it's going, it's possible moves may be made in the deadline. You know, Pat Riley is known to pull the trigger if he has to. Even though lately he hasn't been able to catch any whales, he will make some deals. We've seen it happen a lot during the season. Now, another topic I want to get to is a topic that a lot of you guys have been talking about. A lot of you guys in my comments have been asking about Nikola Jovic. What's going on with Nikola Jovic? Why hasn't Nikola Jovic been playing? So it was reported by Ira Winderman. He is the biggest Miami Heat beat writer, that right now the situation with Nikola Jovic is not the offense. It's his defense. Nikola Jovic started for the Miami Heat against the Minnesota Timberwolves because Jimmy Butler and Kevin Love were out. A lot of us were excited because Triple J and Jovic got their first start, which was great seeing them out there together. But it was reported by Ira Winderman that when Nikola Jovic was out there playing, he kind of pissed off Kyle Lowry. So a lot of defensive setting plays, Nikola Jovic wasn't in the correct position. So Kyle Lowry had to yell at him on the court to get to his correct spot. That shows that he's not ready to play in the NBA level because this NBA, especially the Miami Heat team, is predicated on defense. You got to be a very good defender to be on this team. Something I've noticed about this specific team, out of all of the teams that's been in the Jimmy Butler era, this is probably one of the worst defensive teams we've had because we have not great defensive players. Tyler Hero, Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry's dropped off a little bit, Nikola Jovic. You got guys that are a little bit limited in defense, or if not that great. So the Miami Heat need to turn things around. Now, a lot of us have been clamoring for Nikola Jovic. Now, with the liability that he has on defense, you guys, he makes up for it on the offensive end. We saw it the game against Milwaukee. He got 7 minutes. Dude scored 5 points and 4 rebounds. He can score. He can rebound. The game against the Wolves, he grabbed 10 rebounds. He can facilitate with the ball. He can create his own shot. But he's not good defensively. So you may see Nikola Jovic be sent to the G League. Now, in a lot of other NBA teams, I think they would just let Nikola Jovic figure it out. But this is how the Miami Heat developmental system works. This is why you've seen guys like Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, recently Caleb Martin get better. Because their G League team runs exactly like the way they do. So these players come ready. Nikola Jovic may need that. Now, the G League hasn't started yet. So that's why I believe he's still with the team. But the fact that he's not playing right now and the fact that that situation happened with Kyle Lowry, I think it's going to cause the Heat to kind of hold back Nikola Jovic. He's only 20 years old. He just graduated high school. This may take some time. And that's also why they drafted Triple J, Jaime Jaquez Jr. He was a 4-year college player. He's ready to produce now. We've seen it. He does have some growing pains, but you see what he can bring. So that's pretty much the update on Jovic. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that makes sense? Or are you still upset with the fact he hasn't been playing because what he gives you on the offensive end? I still feel that if you give him 10 to 15 minutes a game, you can get production. Put 4 defenders around him out there. Let him learn on his own. In the NBA, sometimes you can't cater people. You got to let them fail out there on their own. And I think if you're giving him 10 to 15 minutes a game, it's enough time for him to be productive, but not really hamper the defense. You put him out there at the end of the second quarter, end of the third quarter, let him get some minutes. I think he'll be productive. One more update I want to give you guys. It's an injury update with Caleb Martin. Looks like he didn't practice yesterday. Still bugged by that knee issue, knee tendonitis. Looks like it's going to be an issue. Not all season, but there's no timetable for his return. They're basically saying it's day to day. So, yes, you're confident. You're like, okay, they're saying it's day to day. But one thing about the Miami Heat staff, they never let out what's really going on. So this kind of worries me if Caleb Martin's knee injury is a little bit more serious than they're letting on. If that is, that's a huge blow. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. We need Caleb Martin. We don't have that sixth man coming off the bench. Last year, you had a lot of guys that you can rely off coming off the bench. You can rely on Max Strus sometimes. You can rely on Victor Oladipo sometimes. You can rely on Gabe Vincent sometimes. You know, there were certain guys last year that can come off and drop 20 to 30 points on one game. This year, that's what I thought Caleb Martin's role would be, which he is when he's going to come back. He's going to be that guy that can come off for anyone that's starting and give you quality minutes. But right now with this team, nobody's calling for the challenge. It should be Josh Richardson, but he's not looking good out there. So this Heat team is going to need time, you guys. We may have to suffer the way we did last year. We may hover the bottom of the East, but we've seen it. The East stays close. You're usually 2 to 3 games out of the playoff hunt. So all the Heat need to do is get on one little winning streak and bam, we're back right there in the hunt. I'm confident in this team. I know they can do it. And it starts tonight against Washington. Monday's the true test against the Lakers. Let's see what happens against the Lakers. That's where I think this team is truly going to be tested. Monday against the Lakers. But I swear to God, if we lose tonight, hold out there, bro. I'm going to go insane in this video. So I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about this report from Mike Scotto about James Harden? Do you not give a crap anymore like me? Are you bummed out that the Heat didn't even make an offer? What do you guys think? And also, Nikola Jovic, now that you know a little bit more and you guys are more educated, what do you guys think about that? Do you not care about his defensive lack and you just want him out there for 10 to 15 minutes like I'm saying? Or maybe you agree with what the Heat are doing? And last but not least, how important do you guys feel Caleb Martin is to this roster? Do you think if he'd be healthy, we'd have the same record? Or do you feel like it would be the same situation we're at now? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please take a moment, you guys. Like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Stay with me through this process. I know things are going to get better. Have a great Friday. And of course, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Let's go Heat.